Welcome to the DARTS Allowable Revenue Identification Wizard video tutorial. This is tax return entry and conversion, the third installment in the DARTS Allowable Revenue Identification Wizard tutorial video series. This video covers the tax form data entry process and the conversion process to formulate substitute Schedule F forms for use in the WFRP crop insurance program. The WFRP crop insurance program requires the use of 5 consecutive years of Schedule F tax returns in order to calculate your historic Avenue Index revenue. This is calculated up here. However, not every farming operation is going to use a Schedule F to file their tax return. What if a farmer files with a Form 1120 every year? Or what if he or she filed with a Schedule F every year up until last year when something different was used? These situations call for a substitute Schedule F to be created for those years that a Schedule F does not exist, and this portion of the wizard is where that process is simplified for you. So before we start with this portion of the wizard, be sure to have your 5 most recent tax returns on hand. Beginning at item number 7 on the navigation bar under the tax return section, we are presented with the question on the screen. Do you have a Schedule F for your farming operation for 5 consecutive years? If so, select yes and hit the next button to continue through the wizard. If not, select no and hit the next button, which is what we are going to do for the purposes of our example. Now, on this next screen, we are presented with another question. Do you have a Form 4835 for your farming operation for the last 5 consecutive years? If you do, select yes and hit the next button to continue. If not, select no and hit the next button, which is what we're going to do in the screen as well for the purposes of our example. Now, because we responded no in the last 2 previous screens, we are presented with the screen featuring drop-down boxes containing a list of several possible types of IRS income tax return forms for the last 5 most recent crop years. With our tax forms in front of us, we can fill these boxes out accordingly. In our example, we are going to have a Schedule F for every year except for the most recent year. In 2013, we are going to assume that we filed with a Form 1120. After you have your tax form situated correctly, hit the next button to continue to the next screen. You should now be at item number 8 on the navigation bar under the tax return section. We are presented with an electronic version of the tax form we selected for 2009, a Schedule F in our example. First, we must select the accounting method that we used when filing the tax return for this year by selecting cash or accrual up here. For demonstration's sake, let's change it from cash to accrual. As you can see, we are notified by a prompt saying that changing to accrual on this screen will change it for every other tax form. Therefore, we must use the same accounting method for all 5 years. So we are going to hit no on the prompt and stick with the cash method of accounting in our example. From here forward, it is just a matter of duplicating the values from your tax forms onto these tax forms in the wizard. As you enter your values from your tax forms, make sure you have the correct year's form indicated next to the form name at the top of the screen. Note that the line items with a yellow highlight are calculated automatically based on your entered values. Near the end of Part 2, you will also notice a blue box labeled Other Expense Detail in which you may detail other expenses not explicitly stated in the Schedule F. Do not forget to periodically save your work. You may also want to pause this tutorial video while you complete the rest of your tax form. After you've completed entering your tax numbers, hit the next button to continue to the next screen. Proceed to enter your tax details for the following years in the same manner as the previous screen. Click Next until you get to your 5th and final year. Remember, for the purposes of this example, we have chosen 4 Schedule Fs and a Form 1120. Your historical tax forms may be different, but the wizard will operate in the same manner and look identical to your form. After copying your tax return information for all 5 years, hit the next button to arrive at item number 9 on the navigation bar. This IRS form conversion process uses a trial balance for each of the years the tax return information is reported to create a substitute Schedule F for your farming operation. This will result in the exclusion of any revenue or expense on your IRS form that is not directly related to farming activities. Hit Next and proceed to the next screen. By checking which years you did not submit a Schedule F, DARTS will begin the process by creating a substitute Schedule F for that year. In this example, only Form 1120 from 2013 will need to be converted to a substitute Schedule F. The Schedule F is focused on your farming operations, so you will need to enter values that exclude non-farming activities. The difference is the new substitute Schedule F in your submitted tax return is automatically calculated and displayed in the middle column. The arrows and brackets that you see have been placed as a guide to show you how your submitted tax form correlates to the substitute Schedule F. In this example, gross receipts or sales on Form 1120 are the basis for lines 1 and 4 of the Schedule F. 1.8 million was the amount of gross receipts or sales from a corporation, while only 1,596,644 was a result from farming activities. The difference, or adjustment for non-farming activities, is calculated in the middle column. Proceed through this page, entering the values in the far column that reflect your historical financial data from your farming operation. This concludes the third installment of the DARTS Allowable Revenue Identification Wizard tutorial video series. To continue with the tutorial, please select your next video titled DARTS Allowable Revenue Identification Wizard Video 4, Commodity History and Post-Production Operations. All tutorial videos may be accessed on the DARTS website at www.agrilogic.consulting.com/darts or on YouTube.